With the reprised Crota raid, we have a returning exotic, the Necrochasm. And what's pretty cool is that it has an interesting interaction with the Necrotic Grip exotic gauntlet. So in this video, I'm going to give you another updated Poison Strand Warlock build. Let's not waste any time and dive right into it. So first up, going over the exotics, like I said, we're going to be using Necrochasm. If you want to know how to get this thing, basically, once you defeat Crota at the end of the raid, go up to his sword, interact with it, and you pick up the quest, get Husk of the Pit, get Isle and Ally, and then you can get Necrochasm. I was very lucky that I was able to cheese it and get it right after contest mode turned off, but in any event, let's go over its perks. Cursebringer. Final blows with this weapon trigger a Curse Thrall explosion. Final blows with Curse Thrall explosions refill the magazine. We also have Arrowhead Break, Ricochet rounds, and then Hand Laid Stock. Then lastly, Desperation. Reloading after a precision final blow or a final blow with a Curse Thrall explosion increases your rate of fire and improves stability and aim assist. And like I said, we're going to be pairing that with the Necrotic Grips gauntlets here. It actually has a couple ornaments. We have this one here. We have this one. I like this one if you're going for like a fancy look, but we're going for more of a hive look this time. Also a Siva version of it. But the main thing is the perk, Grasp of the Devourer. Damaging combatants poisons them, dealing increasing damage over time. Defeating a poison combatant spreads the condition, provides a moderate benefit to airborne effectiveness for all weapons of sorrow. Necrochasm is considered a weapon of sorrow, so it does get that benefit, but pretty much if you melee a target with Necrotic Grips, again, that spreads that poison. What's pretty cool is that, similar with Osteostriga, Necrochasm actually procs the poison whenever you kill a target with the Curse Thrall explosion. So not only can you blow targets up with the Curse Thrall explosion, it also spreads that poison around as well. Obviously, we want to take advantage of certain things on the seasonal artifact, and to be honest with this build, there really isn't a lot of things to take advantage of, but we are going to be using Tangles with the Strand build, so let's just go over a couple in the 4th and 5th column. First up being Elemental Fury. While stunned, champions take bonus damage from your abilities and Elemental Orb damage. Again, we're really not going to be utilizing the Elemental Orbs, but if we're going to be using our abilities, super, melee, anything like that, we can do more damage to champions. Next up, Refreshing Pickups. Picking up a Tangle or Elemental Orb grants energy to your least powered ability. Again, if we're going to be utilizing Tangles anyway, we might as well get some of our abilities back faster. And then lastly, in the final column, I would recommend Elemental Munitions. Combatant final blows with Tangles or Elemental Orbs have a chance to drop special or heavy ammo. Now, under the Broodweaver Strand subclass for our abilities, I'm opting for the Healing Rift here. Burst Glide for movement, but you can use what you like. For the melee, we only have Arcane Needle, which does unravel targets as well, which can create Tangle, so keep that in mind. Then lastly, we're going to be utilizing the Shackle Grenade. Now, just like with my previous Poison Strand builds on the channel, we are going to be pairing that Shackle Grenade with Mindspun Invocation, because we do get the bonus where if we consume our grenade, it's going to give us Weaver's Trance. So final blows, while Weaver's Trance is active, create a suspending detonation. It's pretty much free suspend on targets as long as you kill them, and very similarly to Osteostriga and Necrotic Grips, Necrochasm does the same thing, where if you kill a target with a headshot, not only do they suspend and poison, they explode as well. So you get 3 benefits on top of that. Then for our second aspect, I'm going with the Wanderer. Tangles you throw attached to targets detonate into a suspending burst. Destroying a tangle creates a suspending burst after a short delay, and then threading final blows create a tangle. This one's not absolutely necessary. I just like this one over the other two, which is Weaver's Call. Again, cast your Rift to cast 3 threadlings. That's great and all. And then also the new one, which is Weave Walk. If you're in air and you press your dodge ability, you go into the weave. You gain damage resistance from combatants and players. Reactivate your air dodge or cast your Rift to exit the weave. While in the weave, you generate purse threadlings over time. Again, it's a good survivability mechanic, but you can't shoot or anything while you're in there. You can't create those threadlings, which is fine, but I personally like just being active with this. And note, using Weave Walk, it does consume your melee, which, again, we want to take advantage of our Arcane Needle with Necrotic Grips. And then lastly, for our Fragments, we're opting for Thread of Generation. Dealing damage generates grenade energy. That's a -10 to Discipline. Thread of Warding. Picking up an Orb of Power grants Woven Mail. It's a -10 to Resilience, but again, if you already have 100 Resilience, Tier 10 Resilience, Woven Mail still gives damage resistance, so that's a bonus on top of that. Next up, I like Thread of Mind, so defeating suspended targets grants class ability energy. If we're going to be suspending targets with Weaver's Trance, Necrochasm, we might as well get our Healing Rift back even faster, since there aren't a lot of ways to heal yourself with this build in general. I'll go over the armor mods, which can help later. If you want to change this one out for potentially Thread of Wisdom, you can. So defeating suspended targets creates an Orb of Power. You can do that as well. Then lastly, Thread of Continuity. Again, classic. Suspend, unravel, and sever effects applied to targets have an increased duration. Next, going over the armor mods that I'm using, starting with the helmet. First up here, Kinetic Siphon. Rapid Kinetic Weapon Final Blows create Orb of Power. We're going to be using Necrochasm. Might as well get free Orbs of Power out of that. And then your other two, you honestly can rock any mods that you like, anything from the Dynamo, Hands-On, anything like that. I just like Heavy Ammo Finder and Heavy Ammo Scout, so I can help out my teammates. But like I said, you can rock basically any combination of mods that you like. The main one is Kinetic Siphon. On the gauntlets, I'm using Focusing Strike, grants class ability energy when you cause damage with a melee attack, and then double impact induction, causing damage with a melee attack reduces your grenade cooldown. For a chest piece, you can use any combination of reserve and resistance mods. Since I'm using arc weapons, I'm using arc reserves, so just keep that in mind, correspond the mods to what weapons you're using. On the boots here, I am rocking Kinetic Weapon Surge. Your kinetic weapons gain a small bonus to damage when you have any armor charge. Your armor charge now decays over time. Essentially, to gain armor charges, you collect an Orb of Power. Minimum, you can have 3 armor charges. With any of these blue mods, they last 10 seconds. So with 3 armor charges, that's 30 seconds of bonus weapon damage for our Necrochasm. Next up, I am using Innervation, so when I collect an Orb of Power, I get grenade cooldown. And Recuperation, so when I collect an Orb of Power, I get health back. This is going to be a big mod here because there really is no other way to get health back with this build, so we're going to be creating plenty of orbs anyway. Might as well give ourselves some health back. Lastly, on the class item here, I am utilizing Reaper. After using your class ability, your next weapon Final Blow spawns an Orb of Power. Then also Powerful Attraction automatically collects nearby orbs of power when you activate your class ability. If you didn't want to use this and want to use something like Time Dilation, you can, which your decaying armor charge now has a longer duration. So the 10 seconds, like I mentioned before with Kinetic Weapon Surge, actually bumps up to 15. So if you have 3 armor charges, that'd be 45 seconds of that bonus weapon damage. And then lastly, Bomber reduces your grenade cooldown when you use your class ability. For stats to focus on, I'd highly recommend Resilience. We talk about every video. Try to have tier 10 100 Resilience, 30% damage reduction in PvE. Fantastic. Next up, I would focus on Discipline. Again, Discipline is tied to the grenade stat. And the faster we can get our Shackle Grenade back, that's basically another chance for us to pop Weaver's Trance again so we can get that full, so we can continue suspending targets, blowing them up, and poisoning them with Necrochasm. If you wanted to focus on Strength next, that's totally fine. Strength is actually tied to your melee. That's totally cool. But then after that, you can do Intellect or Recov. Don't recommend Mobility, but the main two are Resilience and Discipline. Now for weapon options, like I said, I am going to be using arc weapons because I do have arc reserves on, but outside of that, any good PvE special heavy weapon is going to be good here. I will say, if you don't have Necrochasm and you're in the comments, you're like, David, I don't have Necro, what am I supposed to do? We do have the option of Osteostriga. Now Osteostriga has, this is like the OG one for the Poison Strand build, but Necrochasm, it's just very good with this as well. But going over the perks real quick, Screaming Swarm fires a stream of sentient toxic projectiles that track the targeted enemy. You can actually craft it so you can customize these perks, but I personally, for PvE, like Full Bore, Tac Mag with Hand Laid Stock. Then some other perks, Toxic Overload, landing a final blow or multiple precision hits triggers a burst that poisons nearby targets. And then the Catalyst one, which Poison Final Blows return ammo to the magazine. The Poison Final Blows can be considered from Necrotic Grips and suspending and poisoning targets, so this thing can be reloaded all the time. Now, if you don't have Necro or Osteostriga, you can always use Thorn. Thorn does work with this build technically, but you don't get all the benefits like you would with Necrochasm or Osteostriga. But just running through the perks real quick, Mark of the Devourer. Rounds pierce targets and deal damage over time. Kills with this weapon leave behind remnants. Also has Corkscrew Rifling, accurized rounds with textured grip. And then Soul Devourer. Absorbing a remnant strengthens the Mark of the Devourer and partially refills the magazine. Basically, the poison effects from Thorn get increased, but again, I would recommend Necrochasm for this because this is the Necro Poison build. Now, if you got through all that and you're still a little confused about how this build works, I'm going to break it down for you, but as long as you are utilizing your abilities and abusing Necrochasm and then using your special and heavy on, higher tier targets, you're going to pretty much blow up everything on the battlefield. Now, let's say we're about to go into an engagement. What do we want to do? First up, since we do have Mind Spugnification, we can consume our Shackle Grenade, again giving us Weaver's Trance. So pretty much any kill that we get with any of our abilities, whether it's weapons or melee, it will suspend any targets around them. Now, note, like I said, with Necrochasm, again, you get that precision kill with the Cursed Thrall Explosion. Not only does that target blow up, if you have Weaver's Trance around, it'll suspend that target. If they take enough damage from the Cursed Thrall Explosion, they blow up as well. Plus, since it is a weapon of sorrow, you're also spreading the Necrotic Grip poison, doing even more damage to the targets. So if there's a huge crowd of enemies around you and you just get one headshot kill on a target, they're just going to get suspended and blow up. Everything else is honestly a bonus. Our melee with Arcane Needle, again, not only will it unravel targets that can create a tangle, it also spreads the poison from Necrotic Grips, which is fantastic. Our other aspect, the Wanderer, we could take that tangle if we do need to throw it at a target to suspend that target as well. Again, that's another suspending burst that will pretty much make targets, just float there in the air so you can blow them up with Necrochasm. With our fragments, Threat of Generation, dealing damage generates grenade energy. Anything from our weapons or our abilities, whatever it is, even the poison will give us our grenade back faster. Picking up Orbs of Power, that is a big one as well, right? We have Kinetic Siphon, Reaper. We have a couple ways to make Orbs of Power here. But once we collect an Orb of Power, we're going to get Woven Mail, which is even more damage resistance, You know, with Threat of Mind, defeating suspended target grants class ability energy. You know, if we are hurting, like I said, there isn't a lot of ways to heal yourself with this build. So Threat of Mind giving us our healing rift back for us and our teammates is going to be really good. And with Threat of Continuity, all of those debuffs last longer. Everything else after this is kind of a bonus. You know, with Elemental Fury, it's good for endgame. You stun a champion, your abilities do more damage to the target. You know, refreshing pickups. Picking up a Tangle gives you energy to your least powered ability. Fantastic. Elemental Munitions, you know, getting final blows with that Tangle has a chance to spawn special and heavy ammo for your team. You know, everything on the armor mods, heavy ammo finder and scout, you know, giving heavy ammo for you and your teammates. On the gauntlets here, you know, with focusing strike and impact induction, as long as I hit a target with, you know, my melee, I now get energy back from my grenade and my healing rift as well. You know, on the boots, every time we pick up an orb of power, not only do we get grenade energy, we also heal ourselves with recuperation. And then lastly on the class item, again, whenever we pop that healing rift, whenever we need to, the next weapon kill we do is going to proc Reaper, free orb of power. You know, powerful attraction, it's going to take any orbs around us we collect, which does proc recuperation and innervation. And then also with Bomber on the class item, we get even more grenade energy back. Like I said, it's pretty much a continuous cycle of consume the shout grenade, get kills with Necrochasm. Whenever you have the shout grenade again, consume it again. There's multiple ways to heal yourself. You have damage resistance. You're pretty much just going to blow up everything on the battlefield. But that, ladies and gentlemen, is my Season of the Witch updated Poison Strand Warlock build. I'm going to put the dim link for this build in the description. Again, it's going to have everything down to the armor mods, the subclass, even the drip, if you'd like to copy that as well. Again, test this build out for yourself. Let me know what you think. If there's something that you think I should change out, something that you'd like better, you know, weapon, fragment, you know, armor mods, whatever, definitely let me know in the comments. I'm testing stuff out in this game all the time, so I'm willing to hear you out. In any event, if what you saw was helpful, be sure to drop a like on the video, subscribe to the channel, and then turn on the bell next to notifications so you don't miss out on another build video here on the channel. If you didn't know, we do live stream on YouTube and on Kick as well. That link will be in the description. Again, we are mainly going to be playing Destiny 2, so if you do want to hop in for any PvE activities, PvP, you know, dungeon carries, raid carries, we'll be doing Crota raid carries, you know, throughout the season, obviously. So if you would like help, again, just hop in the chat. We can figure something out. And if you want to be proactive, join my Discord. That link will also be in the description. Again, people are looking to play Destiny 2 together, but we are talking about other games, PC tech, anime, and more. If you'd like to support the channel even more, you can look into becoming a member. If you don't know what a membership is essentially like a Twitch subscription. Again, you're going to get access to the exclusive emotes, the monthly badges, and other cool stuff here on the channel. So if you would like more information, all you have to do is press the join button next subscribe, and that'll give you a rundown with all the details you need. All right, ladies and gentlemen, it's been your boy. We'll catch you in the next one. Cheers.